Whilst Greg was on the market for a beautiful, intelligent, amazing, strong, assertive woman, Claire was on the internet looking for a second-hand toilet brush. Claire agreed to go on a first date with her then internet stalker. This is the first time they're going to meet in real life.
And they were both so excited, and she couldn't wait to finally meet this lovely man. Well, Claire first noticed Greg's paralysing good looks. And Greg noticed Claire's jaw-dropping appearance and those sparkling eyes. Suddenly, they both became nervous. The silence was deafening. After 5 weeks of chatting online, they were both stuck for words. But then something clicked, and they relaxed. And they were both so caught up in each other's company, they didn't realise that they were the last ones left in the bar that night. So it's finally time to go home. Greg offered to walk her back to her apartment, where they shared their first kiss on her doorstep.
Claire left the date feeling relieved that Greg was not a catfish.
So, I don't know how familiar you all are with the joys of modern dating, but a boy taking you out on a date instead of Netflix and chill, and buying you flowers, and checking with your housemate that you have a vase, that is truly unprecedented. It was very clear to me from early on that Claire and Greg were incredibly well matched.
Since Honey came along, Greg is now aware of the household hierarchy, which is Claire, Honey, Greg.
Greg once said to me, "Mum, I can't believe how a relationship could feel so good. Thank you for being such a wonderful son. We know that you will be a great husband, and Claire will be a great wife to you."
I love you for always pushing me to positively change. When I'm with you, I feel like the best version of myself. You're the first person I want to talk to in the morning and the last person I want to talk to before bed. Sometimes when I wake up first, I go out of my way to covertly wake you because all I want to do is start our day together.
Greg, if someone had told me 2 years ago that I would marry the love of my life today, I would have looked at them with shock and horror. But if there's anything I've learned in the last few years, it's that you have to cherish the time you have with the people you love. And I want to make the most of our time together on this planet.
I'll never forget Marianne's radiant and proud face immediately after Claire's birth. I've kept some of her notes to me when she was a little one at school. She says, "Dear Dad, I wish you were here to see Princess Diaries with Mum and Michael and me, of course. Love your Princess, Claire." I would not trade any of the wonderful days we've had with you, Claire, for this special day. We love you very much, and we're here for you both, anywhere, anytime, and anyhow.
Running away from you already.
When I think back to all the time spent talking about life as we fell asleep in your tiny, Claire-sized double bed, one thing that is still so vivid to me is how nervous you were to take the leap and actually meet up with Greg after having texted for so long.
I know you remember just as well as I do how nervous we both were the night we first met. We texted back and forth for over a month. We were pretty invested by the time we met face to face. I was so nervous, so incredibly nervous, and so were you.
Greg, I had a good feeling about you from the beginning, but I still worried about pushing Claire to take the leap. But after the second date, when Claire told me stories of how your anxiety and nerves were just as bad as hers, I knew her leap of faith was right. As any best friend would be, I've had my guard up to everyone she's introduced me to. But every time I saw you two together, I let my guard down more and more. There were two defining moments when I realised that I could let my guard down completely. When I first tasted Greg's food and realised visiting Claire for dinner no longer meant flavourless curries or Domino's pizza. And then, as soon as I read your vows last week, I knew my best friend truly had found the one.
Claire, since getting engaged, I've been asked several times, when did you realise that Claire was the one? I realised that it is in fact a collection of moments. Moments of shared values, mutual respect, trust, intimacy, moments that blended and amalgamated causing me to realise very early on that I had never experienced real love until I met you.
We were overseas when Greg first brought Claire home. Mum reported to us that Claire was the most lovely person. She said that Claire talked to her as if she had known her for a long time, and it did not bother her that her English was not good. It was like Mum said, you felt like you'd known her for years. We knew that this was the person we would love to welcome into our family.
Claire, I've watched you make so many leaps in life, from finishing high school, starting uni and moving out of home. You've jumped in to be my big sister when I went to parties in high school, or to drop Edward and I at school when things got tough for our family. But arguably, today is one of the biggest leaps you'll ever make.
Even though we are only in the early stages of our journey together, I feel like I've always known you. It is hard to remember what I was doing before we met. I love our life together and cannot imagine a future without you in it.
Loving you ever since that night has been the calmest thing I've ever done. It's been the most natural and easiest feeling I've ever been swept up in. It has always felt so right. I never thought I could feel a love like this. A love where I'm empowered and pushed to make challenging decisions. Supported through the saddest losses, loved when I feel like I'm in a million pieces, and a love that feels like coming home.
I'm so excited for our future together, and even more excited that I can now proudly call you my wife. I love you so much, Claire.
Those architects designed the plans of who would like to bring, but I burned them all some time ago and simply walked away.